From
Oh,
a
wow,
moralistic
Rabbi, come
sense,
on, that's very rough.
no, well, I'm telling you, if you're going to offer a standard, I mean, if the whole world is starving, right, and you have food in your house, the idea that God is going to justify you hiding that food, right? Because a good God would be like, if you think the Torah is life changing, you
But
should
you're
be offering
saying
it to
that.
everyone.
He's not saying that. I don't think that that's what God or the Jew telling him that there are different levels that he could reach within Torah observance.
No, no.
I don't think
Okay.
that that's like telling him that he's subhuman.
If they're offering the Noahide system as an alternative to Torah Judaism when he has already decided to convert, is basically saying Torah is good for me and my family. It's not necessarily good for
No,
you.
no, no. He's saying if you want, reach the 613. God bless, Godspeed. But if you want to hold at seven, hold at seven. To me, you're considered a great person. Eat whatever
Wait,
the
wait, wait,
fuck
wait.
you want. You could eat from my table, you could eat from your table. I can't eat from your table because you're not doing all 613. It's that simple.
Like, would you personally would consider someone ethical on this planet by only keeping seven laws?
Yes.
Okay, I mean that's that. I disagree. There's no way that you can believe it. Only keeping seven laws. Christians keep more than seven laws.
I
Muslims
don't
keep more than
care.
seven
Who
laws.
cares? You can
Okay,
still be very you can be very, very good person keeping none of those laws in belief and many of them in practice without even knowing. But if
okay.
you want to say what's considered, those seven were considered to be the basics of humanity. Before that, people were
Not
destroying
according to
each
the
other.
Torah. I mean, the Torah doesn't say that. The notion, first of all, it's only really six laws because the seventh law is to set up courts.
It doesn't matter what the number is.
Right. So it's
It's
only
because it's
really
much
six
less than
laws.
613. It's just a ratio. You're looking at
Yeah,
it like it's the ratio. I don't
they're
mind that they
negative.
have to of that. Listen, if God told me today we're taking it down from 613, he told me today, let's say, right, hypothetical, to 609. I just lost four, and the other guy is still keeping seven. The ratio just got a little tighter. Do I see myself as less angelic because I went down four pegs?
Absolutely. Like if you're not holding
No,
yourself
he's
to a
telling
higher
me to do
standard,
what
I
I need to
expect.
do, and he's telling him to do what he needs to do.
If you believe
Lashon
that
hara
the
on
Torah
Jew.
is good for you, I mean, I still stand behind my statement. If you believe that keeping more laws, keeping more ethics, or being held to a higher standard is morally comparable to only being held by seven, that's because you believe that other person is not capable of keeping as many laws
At the
as
time, yes. At the
all
time,
right.
yes. I'll say
So,
that to anyone's face. I'll say to
so
anyone's
how
face,
is
watch
that
this. I'll give
not
you an
bigoted?
example, Rabbi. I'll give you an example without being, I'll give you an example. I'm walking into a gym. There's 15 people who walk in to uh, try out my new gym. I see this guy, he's got no arms. I see this woman, she's got no arms. She's looking to pick up a 30-pound dumbbell. She's going to break her arm. I tell her, listen, if you want to do 15 push-ups right now, I think that's great. I think it's totally on your level right now. If you try and take on all 613 of these pounds right now, it might crush you. I don't think that that makes me irresponsible or bigoted for telling her, you're weak right now. You don't know everything.
By the simple fact that the average rabbi will encourage someone who happens to have a Jewish mother who knows as little as a Gentile knows about Torah to keep all the 613 laws, but a Gentile, he'll encourage him only to keep seven, means that he
I'm
believes
not
that
encouraging him.
someone with Jewish
I'm not
blood, he believes
encouraging
some.
him.
No,
That
I'm
I'm
not
not
saying you.
encouraging
I'm
him.
saying the
I'm telling
average
him
rabbi.
what he could do
I'm not
is
saying you.
acceptable.
I said that the average rabbi
You called
will.
every Jew. You said
No.
the average Jew doesn't look at a person like that
Oh,
as
correct.
human.
The
That's
average
incorrect.
Orthodox, no, hold on one second, as subhuman, essentially, subhuman. If you believe that only because you happen to have a Jewish mother, you are expected to keep 613 laws, but because you don't have a Jewish mother, you're just expected to keep seven, it means that you believe Jews are inherently superior to Gentiles.
No.
Hmm.
That's
No,
exactly, I mean, how can you?
responsibility, accepting a certain amount of responsibility does not equal superiority.
No, not
It just means
accepting.
you're a
I'm talking
father
about a
and that
secular
that
Jew.
person is not.
Not accepting. The average rabbi believes that if you have a Jewish mother, you should be keeping all the laws and Gentiles should only be keeping seven laws. Doesn't that
They only
state?
have to.
No. Okay. So the Jew doesn't have to either from an ethical perspective.
He
If you
doesn't.
believe,
He's considered a Poshea Yisrael. If a
you just
regular
gave
Jew
an
is not
example
following,
of, you just gave an example of someone in a gym not having arms. How can you
not
just,
having the power, not having the power,
so that's what you're
recognizing that
saying, that
someone doesn't have the
Gentiles
power
inherently
is
don't have.
not making yourself superior. It's just saying, I still love you. You're equal to me
I
in a
know,
very,
but you're
very
saying born
spiritual
Jews
sense.
have the
But
power.
as far as taking upon this burden, I'm not requiring it of you to take on all. How about I'll continue the analogy. How about you work on these 7? When you're ready to go to 10 pounds, go to 10 pounds.
I
When you're ready to go to
understand.
20 pounds, go to 20 pounds. When
Um,
you're ready to go to 613 pounds, do it. Fucking do it. Who cares?
you're
But no
saying
one's stopping you and no one's looking down on you.
the average rabbi would say that if you happen to have a Jewish mother, start with the 600 pounds.
I
Why?
don't know what rabbis you're talking to. I don't know any
The,
rabbi that I know that believes that people are subhuman for not being
okay,
exactly on their level. And
there's
if they are, I'll agree with you. They are a little bigoted. But if they're not, they're just accepting the fact that they took on a different level of responsibility. And yes, because they have a
we're talking about secular Jews.
religious and genetic responsibility in their head, in their reality, in their life, in their belief system.
So Jews do something called kiruv, outreach by Jews for Jews. The reason they feel an obligation to reach out only to Jews, right, when there's a whole world that's dying out there, is because they believe that Jews, whether they're religious or not, are held to a higher standard than Gentiles. This is what they believe inherently. I'm
Yeah,
not saying you
exactly.
believe.
What? You believe that too? Then maybe I'm not so Jewish
No, I
because
don't
I
believe
don't
that.
believe that.
I don't believe that. I'm telling you, this is what the vast majority of rabbis believe. This is why they don't encourage Gentiles to become Jewish, and they do encourage secular Jews to return because they believe that Jews are inherently, in some way expected more of than Gentiles. That's a bigoted idea. That's not in the Torah, by the way, right? On Har Sinai.
I wouldn't agree with that idea as a blanket statement either. I
Oh,
think
I
it's a
know, but I'm just saying with
misconception.
the vast majority, that's viewing someone as substandard, really subhuman, right? If you believe you're human, this is a standard, right? I mean, this is what the Tanya says. The first 2 prakim of the Tanya speaks like of the neshamas of goyim coming from the sitra achra, from the unclean klipas, and about in Israel it says chelek elokam mimal mamish, that the soul of a Jew is actually part of God. If that's not bigoted, okay, this is what the vast majority of rabbis believe. It's not like this in the
Uh,
Talmud. It's not like this in the Torah. This is Kabbalah, but it's bigoted. The idea is bigoted.
Okay,
Unless,
maybe I'm just a little sensitive to the bigoted word because
no, but it's true.
it could produce a potential friction and hatred towards rabbis who don't believe that. So
Okay, but it's the vast majority. How many rabbis have you ever
they
seen online encouraging Gentiles to consider Judaism as much
I
as they
don't.
encourage people
I
who
don't.
are?
I'm not really in the game. I just jump on
No,
here,
but from
Rabbi,
when
and I like to get involved in the conversation. But other than that, it's just it's sad. It's sad that that's the reality because I don't see it that way, and I also don't like it being seen as if when you connect to God, you got to go straight to 613. You can't just take one at a time and do your best. It's a very, very burdening
Oh no, they tell you
philosophy.
to
I
do
don't have
those
that
about what.
philosophy.
So
I
with
wouldn't
Jews,
have
they
that
don't
for my
expect
kid.
you to. I went to Aish, right? Aish is a very Baal Tshuva yeshiva, and kids that come on birthright, they'll stay a little longer. And I've seen these kids go through the process. They'll tell them, "Don't take everything on, because you become from like very quick. You buy like all these forum and everything, and like you end up getting burned out." Okay, so they tell them take your time, but the idea that they're not going to preach what they practice to Gentiles, but they preach what they practice to Jews means that there's a double standard that shouldn't be there.
That could be
Because
true also. That could be true also. And we need to, that's why I told remember the first time I came on here, I told you, Rabbi, I think that you're a pioneer in one of the pioneers in this sector where I think that we do need a representation to the rest of the world, a
Confirmed.
proper representation that is not
equally,
projecting.
it should be done
Equally,
equally.
equally, equally. Open door.
Yeah,
Abraham Avinu, 4 doors.
yeah,
Any side. Any
sure.
side, anywhere. You want to be atheist and come in, let's go. You want to be whatever it is, come in, let's go. We'll talk. We're very peaceful in that manner, I believe, at least.
I'm, I've been in this world for a very long time. I mean, I lived in Israel for 5 years. I did kiruv on Ben Yehuda, bringing people like in yeshivas and all that stuff. I know what's expected, okay? And we're not allowed to go up to Gentiles and or tell them to go to Machon Meir or any place that has some